Abandon All Hope is a history about marginalised young women and the welfare system intended to care for them. It's about a place, namely the Parramatta Girls Home, a prison for children operating under the guise of a school, and its demise, marked by the rise of feminism and the reforms that it brought about.
Police Headquarters, Sydney, Special Branch, 11th of December 1973. Subject: demonstration by the Women's Liberation Movement and others outside the Parramatta Girls Home, Parramatta, on the afternoon of Sunday the 9th of December 1973. Demonstrators, the greater majority being women, commenced to gather outside the home from about 2 p.m. At about 2:30 p.m. there were in the vicinity of 100 demonstrators present.
Female delinquency, defined mostly as offences against the moral code, increased in the moral danger field, but decreased in the field of crime. Now from this we deduce that the young girl delinquents of today are putting a greater emphasis on sex, and this in turn becomes a greater social problem.
A world of kids who, for no fault of their own, were caught in poverty and violence traps, alcohol traps, jail and other things.
The incredible thing about working with this history is that you see it's all connected. It's not just about the remnant buildings, or the social forces that shaped and defined a system of welfare, or the legislation that consolidated these views. It's also about the people that once inhabited the site and the legacy of shame imposed upon them.
All these bashings of young girls are alleged to have occurred behind these walls, the century-old Parramatta Girls Home.
This is evident in accounts given and gathered of those who survived the institutional experience, and reveals that girls were really victimised, and what happened to many of them was criminal.
Just basically talking around and remembering back to things that have happened in the past, I think that the Parramatta Girls Home, as it's called, is a home that has quite a stigma attached to it, but the stigma is now disappearing. You find that you have prison conditions here. How many girls have you got here at the moment?
167.
And how many would you admit a year?
It approaches 800 girls a year.
And of that 800, how many would leave?
Approximately 500 would leave in a year.
Well, this sort of banks up the figure a little bit and brings to mind that you must have, to put it bluntly, a hell of a lot of overcrowding here.
My hope is that the project will provide a foundation upon which further understandings can be built, and that the site is recognised in the significance it holds for those forgotten Australians who experienced institutional care as children, and also in the broader context of Australia's heritage landscape as a woman's place. I am indebted to Parramatta City Council through the Parramatta Heritage and Stories Fund for assistance in funding this project.